Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to December's interval training, our last one in 2025. I'm Rebecca Campbell, Senior Director at Peloton. Thank you for joining today's training, which is the second in our two-part AI series. Today, we will take a deep dive into the AI Agent Studio. As always, the format for today is roughly 20-25 minutes of a presentation by my colleague Bishwa Satpathy, followed by a few minutes of Q&A. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. Everyone will be muted during the training and chat will be disabled. So please put your questions in the Q&A. If we've got time, we will get to them after the demo. If you have additional questions or we were not able to get to your questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Also, if you have ideas for future trainings you'd like to see, please let us know. With that, let's get into the training. Over to you, Bishwa.
Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. Hey, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending upon where you are. So yeah, this is the second part of the AI training. So last month, we did cover the high-level AI framework and the AI capabilities from Oracle. Today, we'll be going deeper into the AI Agent Studio. Before we kind of spend more time on the hands-on, I just want to cover some high-level overview of like what the AI Agent Studio is and what are the various components of AI Agent Studio, and then we'll go straight into the tool. We covered this last time as well, so just as a recap, right? So AI Agent Studio is it's kind of a tool, like a design time environment where we can build agentic solution. And by agentic solution, I mean, we can have an agent author some content, like create new contents, do chatbot type functionality, take an action on our behalf, or we can combine all of these into a single agent as well. The flow kind of works in terms of, if you all kind of know, the AI is not deterministic. What I mean by that is, if you ask, for example, you use ChatGPT, you ask ChatGPT the same question again and again, you may not get the same response. Now, that kind of creates kind of some sort of friction in AI adoption, because some of the business processes, we want it to be deterministic. We want AI to take certain action all the time. Like it shouldn't deviate from that. And that's kind of where the AI Agent Studio, how we build the agent, we can start with like a workflow-based automation, which is more deterministic. We give the exact step to the AI agent to execute and go all the way towards like take an action on our behalf, and you do your own reasoning. So AI will kind of get the data, do the reasoning, and then take an action. But that's kind of like the more advanced. Now, all of these can be done using the AI Agent Studio. Now, let's quickly look into what are the various components of AI Agent Studio. I like to start with kind of like from, if you look at top down, agent team is a simple way of kind of like looking into multiple agents working together to achieve a certain goal, right? As an example, let's say in our supply chain, we want to understand what items are available. Then based on the availability, we want to understand, do I have to take any action? Is it below a certain threshold? If that's the case, do we have to check in other locations? And then let's say if we don't have the items available in any other location, then the third step could be, okay, create a purchase requisition. Now, all these three steps can be done by three different agents, and we can combine them into one agent team. That's kind of like how the team concept works. Now, in this particular case, one agent could be the item availability agent, which will just go and look at the item inventory information and then come back with just the numbers. Now, how that agent works, the building blocks for the agents are tools and topics. Tools are primarily like anything that you're doing or any sort of action you are taking, right? You're doing any calculation, you can configure it to send an email. The most powerful one in the AI Agent Studio is Business Object Tool. What it does is it understands the Oracle kind of the business context, and that's why you would leverage AI Agent Studio instead of, let's say, using Microsoft Copilot, because Copilot, you can use it against the Oracle database, but then it won't know the business context. It won't know all the roles and responsibilities. This is where using Oracle AI Agent Studio, you get the advantage of using the business object tool, and we'll show you with some hands-on activities. You can access the information that's within your Oracle application. Now, topics are kind of a way of segregating the roles of different agents. Topics and instructions work together. If you have ever used a chat GPT, you know prompting is important for an AI to take any step, right? And this is primarily topics and instructions are prompting. With instructions, we tell the agent to do certain tasks. As an example, in this case, we will write the instruction as, hey, you are an agent to verify the inventory information, and we'll tell them verify the location and organization is available before you take any action. If it's not available, do not guess and ask the user. Then the topic would be more, your role is only to respond about inventory information, and you don't go. So in this case, we can say more on the information side, and you don't respond to any of the inspection type of questionnaire. So with these two, we kind of give the directions to the agent. Agent can run these tools, and we kind of do the testing by asking the agent to do different things, and how we validate that response. Now let's dive straight into the kind of the UI and how it looks and how we build the agent. In the Oracle app, so if it's available under tools, so if you go to AI Agent Studio, it should take you to AI Agent Studio screen here. As you can see, there are 124 AI agents already available. These are the agents that's shipped by Oracle, and it's for customers starting 25C, it's available. Oracle also announced marketplace agents in AI world where vendors can publish agents. It will go here. You can leverage any of these as well. Now the AI agent, as you can see, there are a lot of agents already available. We can just copy the template and use out of the box agents. So for example, I have copied one of the agent. It's called the purchase requisition status. And it's basically a simple agent. I picked one of the simple one to show you the power of, and then how we can extend it and do what based on the use case that you have. So the components here are the tools, topics, and this is one agent. So there are no teams. And in this case, you see there's agent team here and agent here, but I can build one team that consists of only one agent. Now, in this case, it's a very simple setup, one agent that's also a team. What it does, let's start with the high level information. It has, you give the name, you have the family, how many interactions it can do, you give the description. You can build a persona for that as well. And this is the prompt, kind of the instruction that I was talking about. So you are a purchase acquisition detail and status advisor agent. First, determine the kind of the current user by using this tool, then go fetch this information. It's kind of like defining all the steps here. LLM is the large language model. And in this case, we do have the options of picking either the ChatGPT 5 Mini or Llama. Our experience has been the GPT-5 performs better than Llama in most of the scenarios. And this is the default one, and we can change it as well. The input and output variables are helpful when we kind of build solution for complex use case where we want to kind of build an agent team consisting of multiple agents, and then we want output from agent 1 go to input for agent 2. It's kind of like passing the information between multiple agents. Now let's look at the tool. So because this is a very simple agent, which is looking at the purchase acquisition status, the step 1 is get the user session. And as you see, this is just using get user session. And this is one of that business object tool. It knows the Oracle context and where to go and get that information. So you don't have to build anything for that. Next is a deep link tool. What the deep link does is it's a link to your destination. So in this particular example, a destination is within the Oracle application. So in this case, and we'll see it when we execute, in this case, it's going to give a link to your requisition. So it's a deep link which will navigate you to that requisition if you want to. And this is the main tool, which is the business object tool, which has generate payload for creation, calculate tax and derive. This is again, as you ask a question, it can do all these calculations as well. It can create a purchase acquisition, and get is basically getting the information about the purchase acquisition. So in this case, it can get it by preparer, by requisition ID or header ID. And in the topics is where we have given the instructions. It's kind of the similar of what we also have provided at the high level. The other piece kind of to keep in note of is as we take all these actions, and we have heard this from different customers, like, okay, I don't want AI to take any action. And that's when we turn on the require human approval. And if we do this before executing any steps, it will come back and prompt for, do you want me to continue? And you say, yes, continue. It will then continue. So it's not going to create anything that you don't want it to create. Now let's see how the experience would look like. So in this case, actually, I think it's probably didn't show that we can. The high level settings. So LLM we already looked at. Security. This is where we can control who has access to this agent as well as what access that this agent has. The way AI Agent Studio will work is, think about these agents are another Oracle user. So we can control by roles. We can precede certain questions. We can enable follow-up as well. So it's going to look at the conversation history and ask for questions. An input variable, I think we looked at that. Now, in this case, so the questions that I have preceded, right? So it's there. I can start with something outside as well, right? As simple as what can you do? And I'm running in the, this is the developer mode. So that's why we are seeing this screen for validation. So it's doing LLM call 0. So it takes the information, you are a purchase acquisition details, status advisor. You do all these steps. Then it does the user session, right? So it's calling this API. It gets the username and gets the security information. And it came back with, I can help you with purchase acquisition. Specifically, I can look up a requisition, all this information. Now, let's say if I ask this question, it's again going through the exact same step. It started with LLM first. Look at the information, then invoked the tool that we looked at, purchase acquisition. This is the API. API fetches the information, and it has the detail. And this is the deep link I was mentioning about. So it gave us the link to click and navigate to that purchase acquisition. Now, the question that I have also received is like, okay, so this one is a simple one. It's kind of like probably not doing a lot that can change any of the existing business processes. Yes, that's correct. But this is like the simplest agent that's available, and we wanted to highlight. We can extend it to do any number of things, right? So we can extend it to, okay, so right now this is approved. If it's not approved, we can trigger the same approval workflow, extend this, and add to this agent as well to take those actions. Now, I know we have, it's probably like a few more minutes because I do want to get to the Q&A as well, because I'm sure like some of you may have a lot of questions on this topic. The other piece I was going to highlight here is more kind of like walk you through the steps, right? So the agent shows up here, right? So then the list of tools that we kind of like looked at, it's here. Topics here, deep link we can create here, business objects. This is Oracle is shipping with all these default business objects, and we can create a like lot more. So for example, this one, get item on hand. If we look at this, get the quantity information, and how it's doing is using the API, and you pass the item ID. Now, how do we kind of use it, right? So all these 124 agents, these are available out of the box. So anything you want to use, let's say just this one, there are two different ways to do it. You use the template and then you can extend. If I use the template, I have to go through each and every configuration step. Or I can come back and say, just copy the template and just say add a suffix. Let's say I'll add interval training and then click continue. It just copied that and it's kind of ready to go, right? So if I click plus, now in this case, we didn't proceed with any of the questions, so nothing showed up. So I'm just like starting with some basic question. This looks like job offer creation advisor. So this is going to help in, because I didn't configure all the roles. So this is a test where I didn't give any roles to this agent. So it doesn't know by default. So I need to specify all those information. Now, so again, that's kind of like all the security configuration that we need to do here. So that's like a very high level. We do have more detailed training available on this as well, and for out of the box agents or like building custom agents. So if anyone interested, please reach out, and then happy to schedule like more follow up on this one. I do want to wait for like open it up for like any questions if there are.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Bishwa. There were a few questions. First one is, how is pricing structured for the AI Agent Studio?
Okay, excellent question. So let me go back to, so if we see here, like there are 124 agents available and 23 in the marketplace. These 124 agents are available free of cost. But there is a caveat there. It's if we use the agent as is, it's part of the existing licensing. So if you have 25C or above, if you update the agent, if you extend the agent, then that's where the pricing will kick in. It will categorize as a let me see if I have. Yep, I think I have a slide on that. We are doing a training yesterday. If I can bring it up. Yeah. So what is included, the pre-built agents, Llama model and Cohere model, limited token with ChatGPT, and you can modify the instructions or the guardrails, no extra cost. If you want to build a custom agent from scratch, you modify existing agent, you add new tools and APIs, that's going to cost more. Or you bring in your own LLM, that's going to cost more as well. The pricing is kind of per seat. By per seat, I mean it's agent per user per month. So if one agent, we like going back to that security, if we give 10 user access to it, so it will count as 10 user per month. So it's basically how many users have access to that agent. And again, the differentiation there is they don't have to use the agent as long as they have access to the agent. Oracle will count that as custom agent. Also, I would say on this screen, there is this learn more. You will see the difference between the free tier and the premium tier. What is allowed, what is not allowed. Like if you are building a custom agent, you have to kind of like move to this. You see here the custom agent is kind of not allowed in this free tier. you have to move to premium tier to use it. Okay, any other question?
Yep, very good. Thank you for that explanation. Yep, one more question. What adoption patterns are you seeing among customers for the AI Agent Studio?
So this is pretty new, right? So the first one came out as part of 25B to partners, I believe, in July, but the customers have started getting it as part of 25C. Not many customers are already on 25C, so that's why the adoption is like it's just starting. We do have few customers who moved to 25C recently, and then the adoption's been kind of like at this point more, let's just play with this. Let's just play with out of the box agents and configure and see what can we do with it before kind of like going crazy with building custom AI agents. So yeah, in terms of adoptions, the mostly what we are seeing is like using out of the box one. And actually, let me go back to the capability that I was highlighting. In this case, the number one use case that we are seeing where customers are starting with is the answer functionality, which is like building a chatbot using an agent. And if we go back here in the template, like this advisor agent, right? So job discovery advisor, goals assistant, screening advisor. These are more like the chatbot type agent. It's not taking actions. It's basically providing all the information about that business process. And the customers find it kind of like easier to start with. And because it doesn't change any of the existing business process. It's just like making the things easier. Instead of going to 10 different SharePoint sites, you have information available in the chat.
Makes sense. Very good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that was the end of our questions and our training. Thank you so much, Bishwa. Thank you everyone for being here. Stay tuned for 2026, and I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.